Hey guys, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I really appreciate all of the support and all of the comments and subscriptions and everything. I'm so grateful for your presence and for your love. In this video, I want to speak to you guys about the Zen saying that I really believe in, and I think INFJs believe in general, saying that empty vessels make the most noise. Now, this is like one of my things. Like, actually, whenever someone starts, and I know I speak a lot on this channel, but in general, like when I do these videos, this is the most I speak in the day, and then the rest of the day I'm really, really quiet. So I hope it doesn't come across that I'm being hypocritical. But reality is that when I see someone talking a lot without any purpose, when they're just talking to fill space, in order to fill silence, or in order to, I don't know why. Some people just talk for no apparent reason. I think to myself, are you nervous, or are you trying to impress someone, or are you trying to fill the empty space in your heart with noise? I know it's a bit harsh. Or what are you trying to do exactly? I don't understand. Like, I don't understand why when people do that. I also don't understand when people spend hours and hours and hours talking about something when without actually taking any action on it. Like, they'll just sit and chat and complain and whine about some issue. But then when I asked them if they did something about it, they were like, but I was talking about it. I was busy. And I think to myself, yeah, you're going to be busy for the rest of your life talking about it and not actually doing anything. So what's the point? What are you talking about, right? I hate that. It's like actually one of my major pet peeves, and that's one of the reasons, the main reasons I don't talk to most people is because, first of all, they're just gonna sit there and talk about nonsense forever and ever and ever, and there's gonna be nothing that comes out of it. I've had this happen to me so many times. I'll be sitting with someone, and they're like, "Oh my God, I love what you're doing with your life. I really, really want to do this as well. Can you give me some tips?" And I'll be like, "Of course, yeah." And so I'll give them some tips, and then I'll message them maybe a month, 2, 3 months later, and I'll ask them, "Okay, so what did you do about it? Did you implement any of the things I told you?" They're like, "No, I've been too busy. Some stuff came up, and I'm going to this wedding, and I had to buy clothing for it and prepare for it. Things like that. Life happened." I'm like, "Okay, cool," but that's what life is. Life happens all the time, and if you really, really wanted it, if you really, really, really want it, then you'd wake up an hour early and do your work, or do this work on whatever you care about. Or if you really, really, really cared about it, you'd stay an hour later and not watch TV and work on the kind of stuff that you really cared about. You know what I'm saying? So there's really no excuse in my opinion. If you don't really care about it, then obviously that's fine. But you told me and you wasted my time and energy asking me for stupid advice that I gave you, and you didn't actually even use it. So what happened with that? So that's why I'm very careful when someone new comes into my life and they're like, "Oh my God, I love what you're doing," or "I really want to have a YouTube channel as well. What can you give me some tips?" Or "I really want to, be location independent as well. Can you give me some tips?" Or I blah blah blah. There's a billion different things people ask me. "I want to start a podcast. Can you give me some tips?" And I'm like, "Okay, cool, yeah, I'll give you tips." But I'm really always careful about the person in front of me, and I'll look at them and say, "Okay, how do they seem like the kind of person who's going to do something about it? Maybe not." So I'll spend very little time on it, right? But if they look like the kind of person really, really motivated, and I know they're going to do something about it, where I have met a couple of people like that, I will give them as much information, as much time as possible, because I know that they're going to do something with it. They're going to not just be empty vessels making noise, but they're going to actually be taking action. And that's the most important thing on this planet, right? Are you going to just talk about it for the rest of your life? Are you just going to bullshit your life away, talking it away, or are you actually going to do something about it? I just cannot stand people who just talk and talk all day long about nonsense. It literally is nonsense. Like, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I can't stand to be around you anymore because you just talk about nonsense. It's not even just like there's some purpose to it. It's just vomit. It's like verbal diarrhea, basically. It's just, ugh. They're just pouring crap on you because, why? Because they don't like silence? I don't know. Because they don't like just being alone with themselves? I have no idea. Something to do with their childhood, something to do with their presenthood? I have no idea. I'm not going to analyze it. I just know that as soon as that happens to me, I run far away from that person as much as possible. When they want to sit with me on breakfast, I'm like, "I'm sorry, no." If they want to sit with me at dinner, I'm like, No, I'm doing my work, I'm doing my journaling. I always have my notebook with me as a protective measure. It's like a shield to me. So when people are like, oh, can I sit with you? I'm like, I'm sorry, no, I'm doing my work, I'm doing my writing. I'm sorry, I'm busy. Okay? Even if I just stare off into space for the rest of my break time, I can't, because what they're going to do is they're going to fill all this energy and the space, energetic space around me with verbal diarrhea, with crap, basically with stale energy, right? And I don't need that energy around me. It's gonna drain me. They're gonna drain me, and I don't need that crap around me. So if you're an empty vessel and you're making a lot of noise, do it somewhere else. Do it, because there's loads of people here who love that kind of stuff, right? I mean, because it's such a instant gratification kind of thing, isn't it? Like, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to change your life. You don't have to work hard at anything. You don't have to deal with your shadows. You don't have to look into your dark side. You don't have to do any of the difficult stuff. All you have to do is sit there and whine and complain about life and talk about shit, talk about nonsense. And the day passes by, and you think to yourself, all right, cool, one more day is gone, and it feels like you were productive because you talked about a lot of stuff. The same thing happens when you're in a high and you're like, whoa, I'm going to change the world with all the ideas that I came up with while I was high. And then when it actually comes down to it, you won't actually do anything with it, right? And so it feels like a great thing. You feel like you're making a lot of progress, right? Because you're talking about stuff. Oh my God, we're going to make a difference. We're going to build our own yoga studio, or we're going to start this not-for-profit, la la la, right? And so nothing happens out of it, right? I mean, this happens to me a lot. It's weird though, because I love it sometimes, because I get ideas from these people all the time. For example, a few years back, I was dating someone, and we were sitting around at a dinner table, and someone was talking about how they really, really, really wanted to drive down from Toronto to the tip of South America. They're like, oh my God, this is such a great trip. You could have a car that you could. It's really easy to drive all the way down. You can ship your car from Central America to South America, blah, blah, blah. So she'd obviously done some research on it, right? I mean, she looked things up online, which is, again, a great way to waste time, because you look shit up and you think to yourself, oh man, I'm being so productive. Because you don't actually have to do anything really with that information. It could just sit here forever and ever and ever. But me and my ex now, the guy I was dating then, we thought about it, and I told him, like, I don't need to that. I think that'd be great. I think it'd be so much fun. We have the car. We can take a year off each, and we can go as far as we can, and we come back again. That's it. And we ship the car back. We'll save up and do it. And he's like, yes, let's do it. And so something actually came out of that conversation, because that person never did it, obviously. She was just talking about it, because that's what people do. But for me, I got an idea out of it, and it was an amazing trip. We traveled for 9 months on the road. We stayed in so many amazing places. We went all the way to Panama City, and then we shipped the car back to Toronto. And it was one of those epic trips. Like, it was great, right? It was great, great, great. You can read more about it on my other website that I don't talk about much, brownvagabonder.com. There's some pictures on there and information. But it was amazing. So something did come out of that crap conversation, but that person didn't do anything with it. For me, I was thinking to myself, okay, if I'm going to talk about something, I have to do it. And if I'm not going to do it, I'm not going to talk about it. That's like my policy with life in general. So that's why I don't have a lot of conversations with people, because a lot of this stuff that I'm going to speak about, I'm going to have to end up doing. And I don't have any more time to do things, extra things. So if I'm going to say I'm going to do it, I'm going to have to do it. If I don't talk about it, then I don't have to talk about it. Then I don't have to do it. Does that make sense? So that's why I keep my conversations very minimal, because I cannot make promises to myself. Because it's basically I'm making promises to myself. If I say, yeah, I should really turn vegan, then I have to. I really have to, because I can't lie to myself. That's wrong. To myself, it's wrong, right? It might not be wrong to someone else, but if I say I'm going to do something, if I say, oh, I'm going to go visit Iceland this year, then yeah, I'm going to have to do it. I can't just be talking shit. I have to actually get it done. And that's the thing about being true to your word, having commitment. That's what builds trust. Not with other people, to me. That does as well. But for me, myself, I have to be able to trust myself and my words. And for the longest time when I was a child, I didn't trust my words, because I said things and I didn't do them, because it's so easy to do. And I realized that I was doing that, and I stopped doing it. And I stopped it because it was just everyone else was doing it, so I was like, oh, I should do that too. No. So now, if I'm going to have a conversation with you, if I say I'm going to do something, I will do it. And I'll make sure I take a note on it. I'll write it down on a piece of paper and say, okay, cool. If I say I'm going to send you some information, I'll send you that information even if I die, right? because it's important. If I said I'm going to do something, if I promise something to you, it is important for me to do it. There are no empty words here. There are no empty vessels. I don't want to be an empty vessel, just verbal diarrheas all over the time, all over the place, and doesn't do what they say. Right? Because I hate that in other people, I can't be doing that myself. Right? I hope this makes sense to you guys. I hope that I've been able to explain myself to you. And if you guys have any questions, any feedback, any suggestions for future videos, let me know in the comments below. Or you can message me at boomshikha@themillionairehippie.com. All the information is in the description below. And I shall see you guys next time around. Bye for now.